I can't hear myself anymore, which means my monitoring is off. How's everyone doing? How does the mic sound? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Tell me now before I start the stream. Who have we got in chat? Hey, Ricky, man. How's it going? It's fine. Spot on. Thank you all. Awesome. Is the music right as well? I should probably test all these things before I go live. Hey, Hixo? I don't know how you pronounce that. Hey, man, how's it go? Welcome in. How's your day been? Right, I may as well go to live screen, really. The music's okay. Awesome. I don't want it to be too loud. You know, I don't want to be overbearing or anything like that. Oh, my live screen's not working. Hold up. That'll be why. I've been using Streamlabs to record my videos as well, which probably isn't the best way of doing it, but hey-ho. So yeah, awesome. Welcome in, everyone. I might turn the music down just a little bit because, in fact, I'll just turn my headset down. There you go, it's better. Slideshow. Just give it another minute just to let people come if they're going to come. And I want to see Spiros here. Well, I'm expecting to see Spiros here. I don't know if he's going to be here or not. He's not going to join me for the actual stream today, but he said he might have it on in the background. So yeah, awesome. Cool. So this stream, I'm going to be up front. I don't know that much about hacking Active Directory. I know how to do a few bits, but I thought I'd share what I can. I can set up the lab, which we're going to do at the end. So you guys can go forth and hack the shit out of Active Directory. I know I'm going to rely on Ricky, to be honest. I'm going to keep pinging him and say, hey, what's this? I'm sure he knows better than I do. I should just get him on, really. Right, should we start? Let me just double check something. I know you can all see this. I should set up a second monitor for this, really. But I'm far too lazy for that. Cool. Hey, welcome in. How's it going? Right, I've put my music down too quietly. Okay, let's just start. Awesome. So we got a new PDF. It's not a PDF, it's a presentation. Got a new presentation thing to sort of designed around LootSec, who are, you know, the security people behind the stream at the moment. So go show them love. Go follow them on Twitter. It'd help me out as well. So what are we doing? We're hacking Active Directory. We're going to go over some Active Directory sort of concepts. Nothing too much, because I don't know that much about it, but I don't want to sort of bombard everyone with crap that's not necessary. So what we're going to do is go over this and just sort of say, what is Active Directory and why do we need it? How do we install Active Directory? How do we create computers and users and everything else and different objects and everything else in Active Directory? And finally, how do we enumerate Active Directory when you want a pen test? So, I mean, it's probably needless to say, but when you are doing an internal infrastructure on a network, chances are you'll come up against Active Directory. And if you know your way around how to hack it, you like 80-90% of the time you'll get from a standard user all the way up to, like, if not domain admin, you'll be very close to domain admin. Depends on sort of depends on a few things. Depends on their sort of implementation of the security features, and it also depends on your time frame, because obviously when you on a pen test, you are limited on time. Hey, can him? I love you too, man. Welcome in. How's your day? So again, I mean, we've been all through this before on previous streams. Obviously, I'm Mantis, and I'm a principal security consultant, principal pen tester, whatever you want to call me. And Spiros, who is the other guy that, again, he's not here today, but he is the owner and principal security engineer of LootSec. So before I go on, I don't want this stream to be all about the presentation. this is just sort of outlining important parts of Active Directory. So I'm going to create a lab at the end of this, and we're going to find out we're going to go through simple ways of hacking it. I'm hoping the lab doesn't take too long to set up, as it's going to be running in VMware anyway, or VirtualBox, whichever one I have installed. Anyway, so Active Directory, it was made for central management of domains. Obviously, if you don't have Active Directory on your network, you would be manual or some sort of similar thing to Active Directory. You'd be forever changing things on individual computers, whether that's usernames, passwords, policies, software, everything. So that's why Active Directory, I think, was probably made. By default, it's included on most versions of Windows, and from when I was doing my research on this, it seems to be that it's installed on, it's on most newer versions of Windows. I don't think it was on sort of previous versions, but I think as soon as it sort of got released, I think it's been on every sort of version since then. An Active Directory uses a few different protocols. LDAP, DNS, and Kerberos are sort of the three main ones. And like I said there, we'll sort of discuss this later on as I break down the protocols a bit more. Active Directory has a number of uses or services. There's domain services, which covers things like users, roles, permissions, group policy, etc. So again, if you need to create new users or modify their roles or give them extra permissions or take permissions away, then that's all done through the domain services. Lightweight directory services, again, that's sort of data stores, that sort of thing. Certificate services. So certificate services is obviously things like having your SSL certificates, your PKIs, and things like that. That can all be done through Active Directory. Again, pushes out to all the computers, so you're sort of generally trusted. Federation services, so single sign-on, basically. That's what it is. And rights management services. So, yeah, I think that's fairly self-explanatory. If I need to go through any of these again or anything more, let me know. I can come back to them. So why is it important? It stores all of the, not just user information like I put it here, but all of the network information, all of the information that anything that's joined to the domain, it stores that information. So that, again, is computers, file shares, users, groups, policies, etc. And it's centralized. So we don't need to go around, like I said before, going around to every single computer and changing things when we just want this, when we want to update something. But if we want to update a password, we don't have to go to every computer and update a user's password. We can just do it from the one place. It pushes out across, well, it doesn't push out, but it then gets, any computer then needs to sort of use that password, they can log in with the password because it's been set in Active Directory. Security administration. So again, if you need to update software or patch things or apply group policy settings, again, all done in Active Directory. So it's sort of a one-stop shop for a domain. And if it is compromised by an attacker or a pen tester, then the entire domain is kind of fucked, to put it politely. So, what are the most common tasks within Active Directory? Creating and deleting user accounts, resetting passwords, managing computers, I have just said. So what would a network look without Active Directory? You'd have to create accounts on every computer. We'd have to reset passwords individually on every computer. And from a time management point of view, that'd be incredibly slow. Like one sort of network admin or whatever you want to call them would have to go around and do all this, and not necessarily just one, but a number of network admins, and especially if you had a network like the size of a council's network or something like that, it would be huge. It'd be a crazy job. So an Active Directory network, it is centrally managed. It's easy to maintain. It's quicker to maintain, and you can again change all the passwords and policies and things, that it just gets pushed. So this is kind of what a Active Directory authentication method looks like. It's not strictly right, but it sort of paints an overall picture. The actual authentication sort of process is much more complicated, and there was a computer file. I'm sure you guys know him if you look at sort of YouTube stuff. Computer file, Kerberos video I was watching either earlier or the other day, whenever it was, and that explained it really in depth, and it was really easy to understand. Far better than I could ever explain it. So the possible attacks for Active Directory. 2 seconds while I drink some of my drink. So possible attacks. And, oh, an SMB relat attack. Awesome. Good thing I proofread these. Possible attacks. LLMNR poisoning, and I'll get to what LLMNR is in a minute. SMB relay attacks. Kerberosing, gold and silver ticket attacks, pass the hash, pass the password. Dumping cached credentials with something like Mimikatz or Metasploit. And then you have enumeration tools like Bloodhound, Empire, and PowerView. Strictly, again, not necessarily strictly to do with Active Directory, but they usually have bits that deal with Active Directory things. We are going to do some of these attacks in the lab in a minute. So we'll do the LLMNR poisoning. We'll probably do an SMB relat attack. Obviously relay, just take the mic. Maybe do an SMB relay attack. It depends whether I can set up all the servers needed by the end of the stream or before the end of the stream. And we can do a pass the hash attack. Maybe we can do a dumping cache credentials attack as well. But either way, I'll show you sort of some of the ways we can do all this. So protocols, like I said a minute ago, a lot of the Active Directory uses a lot of protocols, not just the ones I mentioned, but other ones as well. Or more to the point, I should say a Windows domain uses a lot of these protocols. Active Directory itself might not, but you'll see a lot of these in Active Directory or a Windows domain. So LDAP is the first one, which is Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, and it's an authentication and authorization protocol. And it is used for querying and modifying items in directory services, and in this case, we're talking about AD. Now, obviously, LDAP doesn't have to be used on AD. It can be used on any sort of operating system or any system that you want to use as a centralized authentication system. But yeah, in this case, we're sort of talking about in the context of AD. And obviously, when I say AD, I mean Active Directory. So how would you attack LDAP? Now, LDAP. There's a few things you can do. Automated attacks and manual attacks are both possible. Nmap has scripts for it. I'm not sure why that example isn't indented. It was supposed to be. Anyway, you can run different attacks from within Nmap. So when you're doing an Nmap scan of a network, you might say, "Hey, look, there's an LDAP service. Let's run every script that has LDAP in the name or starts with LDAP, but isn't a brute force attack without credentials, because obviously generally you wouldn't have credentials when you first start." Oh, my phone's buffering. Are we still live? Hopefully. And LDAP itself is clear text, so you may be able to sit on the network and sniff it, but LDAP S is LDAP over TLS or SSL. So if it's in clear text, you could probably sniff it. If it's not, chances are you'd have to do something else. Awesome. Thanks, mate. And there is a tool, a friend of mine, Ryan, a guy I work with, I didn't know about it beforehand. He said there's a tool called LDAP domain dump. Now I say that out loud and it might not be LDAP domain dump, but I'm pretty sure it is. Which, as long as you have credentials, or as long as you have even a low level access of credentials, you can dump a lot of information from the LDAP domain or the LDAP system, and it will give you things like joined computers. I think it gives you information about users. It will. So I'm just reading chat at the same time. So when you dump the users, you can get a description, and sometimes people put passwords in descriptions and things like that. So it is worth doing. It's worth having a look at. And moving on to Kerberos. So Kerberos is the authentication method of Windows by default. And it's sort of the new and improved NTLM sort of thing. the way it sort of does everything. It's quite a complicated protocol if you go from start to finish. But basically, what happens is you request a ticket from the controller, usually the domain controller, and it will give you access to different systems as you need it. I think the tickets last up to like 24 hours or something usually, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, so NTLM was challenge response, where this isn't. And yeah, it does its authorization management through tickets, like I was saying. So this is kind of what it looks like. So the client requests a ticket, then the Kerberos controller key distribution controller, whatever they call it, make sure that you are logged in and you can access what you're saying. And then it sends back a ticket, and then so on and so forth. You get to access what you need. Again, it's quite a complicated system. I don't fully know what's going on in the background. But yeah. So attacking Kerberos. So this is probably one of my favorite things on an internal pen test, because you can potentially go from no access at all, so just on the network, not even with a set of credentials, to having potentially a service level account, which might be sort of domain admin or something. You know, it might be a high privilege account. Usually, I'll go through it in a second. So you can enumerate things like users, as long as you have a list of usernames, and then you can use the nmap ARB5 and enum users, and that will verify whether there are any users with those. If you have a user list and you query the Kerberos, it will tell you whether they're there or not. There's an attack called Kerberosting, which you do need a login for, but again, it can be a low-level login. ASREP roasting is where the pre-authentication flag, I'm going to say, is unset. And I get this wrong every time, which is why I put it in bold there. And if somebody in the chat knows whether it's set or unset, let me know, but I'm pretty sure it's when the pre-authentication flag is unset. Which means that they don't have to authenticate to get the ticket. And then you've got gold and silver ticket attacks. Again, I'm not fully sort of up to date on what they are. It's something to do with long-lasting tickets, like 2-year tickets and things. Will you show the practical also? Yes, I will. I am doing this at the end. I'm going to create a lab. I've downloaded the ISO, so I don't have to do that. But I'm just going to set up an internal sort of system, server, whatever. I'm going to set up a domain controller and either 1 or 2 workstations. And then we'll jump on a Kali box and we'll just hack them. So DNS is the next one. I mean, DNS is fairly self-explanatory. We probably all know what DNS does and how it works. But ultimately, it converts a domain name to an IP address. And that's kind of it, because domains are easier to remember than IP addresses, usually. Unless you're talking about like 1.1.1.1. And that is what a DNS request looks like. It goes, you request example.com, it goes to the root server goes, nope, I don't know what it is, go check the TLD server, and the TLD server goes, nope, and so on and so forth until you get a response. Thanks so much. It's my first time here and it's going great. Hey, well, welcome in. Tell me how to pronounce that name. Canhim, I don't know. But yeah, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. So there's a few different attacks that you can do on DNS. You can, I mean, DNS cache poisoning is kind of an old attack now. It's not something that you can really do nowadays. But that was basically where you would poison the cache of the DNS, because for every domain that you request, for example, if you're requesting google.com, you will go out to your domain, your DNS server, and it will go, hey, I don't know the IP of this, so go check it from another server. And then sort of before that server responds, you could send a request to update the cache from a Kali box, a malicious PC, and then it would update that cache. So every time anybody else requested that domain, it would be your sort of poisoned request, your poison response, sorry. And then that until that cache died, you know, until the time to live ended, it would always be the IP that you gave it, which is cool. UO3D. Correct setting is do not require Kerberos pre-authentication. Pre-authentication is enabled by default, and it's so it's unset then. Yeah, awesome. So the reason, in fact, I didn't really go over this, but the reason why Kerberos, where was it? Yeah, the reason why people unset the pre-authentication flag is for things like service level accounts. So you might have a service that needs to just log in every time without a password, and it could be a pain in the ass if you had to do it sort of, I don't know, or maybe you can't even do it with when a password's required. So you unset the pre-authentication flag, and it just sort of authenticates it automatically using sort of that system. So yeah, that's why it's an option. It was it's not just a sort of a thought, an afterthought of security. DNS cache processing. So yeah, there's also DNS. There's also denial of service attacks, and there's also a amplified DNS. I keep calling it DNS attacks now. An amplified denial of service attack, which is where because DNS is UDP, you can send a packet from your IP address, but with the source IP of another box somewhere. And because the response of the UDP packet is, the DNS packet is bigger than sort of requested. Let me start again. You can send a UDP packet to the DNS server saying, hey, I want google.com or whatever. But you can set the source IP of a UDP packet to be anything. So when the UDP server, when the DNS server looks for the where to respond to, it's going to that original, it's going to the source IP that it got in the packet. So it then floods that IP instead of yours. That was really overcomplicated for what it needed to be. And there's also a DNS rebinding attack, which is where you can update the DNS record or a DNS record really quickly. So if you request google.com and it results to 127.0.0.1, for example, and then you can rebind it, and it could be like 8.8.8.8 or something. And that's used in things like server-side request forgery quite a lot. So yeah, that's that. Now, LLMNR and LBT. NBT. LBT? Man, my words are not coming out tonight. LLMNR and NBTNS. So, link local multi-class name resolution is LLMNR, and it's really hard to say every time. And it's essentially sort of a local kind of DNS system. So what happens is when a DNS, so if you request a name of a system and the DNS record isn't there, then what will happen is the computer will send out a multicast request or a multicast packet and say, hey, does anybody know what this name is, this sort of domain name? And then that's when the LLMNR sort of happens. So it's kind of like DNS, but local. And none of these protocols are Active Directory specific. They're just protocols that Active Directory happens to use. Attacking LLMNR and NBT is really easy. You just poison the responses. 2 seconds, just taking off the jump. And having a drink. Yeah, so you just poison all the responses, and that's something we're going to do in a minute. There's a great tool. I think it's from Impacket. I could be wrong on that. I'm sure somebody can let me know on that. But it's a tool called Responder. I think it's from Impacket. I could be wrong. Setting do not require Kerberos pre-authentication. Do not require. Okay. It is unset by default. It's like a double negative. Do not require, and then it's being unset by default. Yeah. Well, that's fine. Right, let's build the lab. Lab time. Actually, that's lab time, but let's build the lab. So, VMware we've got on here. See, that was easy. That was like 20 minutes of death by PowerPoint. And now let's... Oh, have I got no virtual machines? Okay. So let's build a virtual machine. Now, I can't zoom in on this, unfortunately, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'll obviously install it later. Oh, it's Windows. Windows Server 2016. That's the one I've got here. Wait. It's because that's not even... I was going to say, I thought I had Active Directories. Now, I've got a couple of Active Directory boxes ready to go, but I'm not. I'm going to create a new one so you can see how it's done. Let's create a new folder, and this is going to be called Streaming Active Directory. I don't know. Good enough. So before I get to the point where I need to name the domain, somebody give me some names for a domain to use. I mean, I got a Pokemon Active Directory because I stole the idea from a mate of mine in my Slack. But yeah, give me something. Give me a name to use on this one. Now, what am I doing? That's Linux. I need Microsoft. What's down here? 2016. Win server 2K16 domain controller. So you 003D, I recognize your name from somewhere and I don't know why. That would be fine. Actually, I don't even know how much disk space I have on my... Probably not enough. Let's chuck it into streaming. Streaming, new folder, Active Directory labs. Recommended size is 60 gigs. Sure, whatever. I can probably give this a bit more RAM so it's not so sluggish. Let's go for 4 gigs. 2 cores with 2 processors. Did I just... No, I didn't. Cool. Right. I mean, I don't need to tell you how to set up an actual virtual machine, I doubt. But once this sort of installs, we can go through and... Is my music still playing? Oh, it is. Cool. Once this is set up, we'll go through and set up the domain controller, and then we'll also set up a domain thingy. A domain controlled PC. So I'm trying to get my music right at the same time. I've got Windows 10, which is here, and it is 64-bit. Win 10 domain, just Win 10, that'll do. Win 10, not there. Streaming and Active Directory Labs, cool. Oh no. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh well. Win 10. Win 10. What? No. Win 10. Okay. Well, that was harder than it needs to be as well. That's all fine. It's because I didn't add the... Let's close this. I need to turn my music off for me. I can't concentrate on 2 things at once. Right, let's quickly just put this as the ISO image. Downloads that one. I think that should be fine. Wait, which one did I do that on? Right. Edit. Sorry about this. I'll be with you all in 2 seconds. I'm just being slightly dumb. This one. This needs to be that. Right, then we start that, and then off. Put that up there. This can be our Windows 10 machine. Which I don't have. Okay. That's very annoying. Download Windows 10 ISO. I thought I had this downloaded. I swear I downloaded it earlier. Just Unicode. Yeah, no, I know what it is. I just mean, I thought I've seen you around somewhere. Maybe were you in the last stream of mine? Where is the... Sure, I can just copy this Windows 10 actually, I think. Let's... Right, if I just put that there. I can use my local PC as one of them, and then again I can just copy this and do another one, I think. Can I copy this? Pretty sure I can copy this. Yeah, I can clone it. Right, let me just see if I can actually change the domain that this is on, because this is in the Pokemon domain, I think. So if I can change this, Y reset. I missed the keystroke. Cool. Okay, so this is booting into a Windows server, and this is going to be booting up into Windows 10. Now, I have set this up before, so it shouldn't take too long. Once it's installed on the VM disk, it should be fairly straightforward to set up from a domain controller point of view. I know it doesn't take too long, so let's change this to United Kingdom because I'm not in America. Install. So, what is everyone doing today anyway? How is everyone? You can't download. Do you know what? The Fubi, I remember that now because I had that in the when I was looking at something the other day. I don't have burp install. It's fine. I don't need the Windows 10 ISO. Go back. Custom settings. Apply. Can you change your user agent in here? Can you? How would one change the user agent in here? Change user agent from developer tools. Click the emulation tab. Right. What was that? Am I being dim here? Is that in the console? So many things. Oh, wait. I'm probably being really dim. It's fine, I can always load up Burp and do it if I need to. But I think this machine here will be fine. The password for this account has expired. Oh no. I have no idea. Awesome. Let's change it to something really secure like password. Your account has been changed. Awesome. Anyway. Go back over to here. That's still installing. Great. I'm from India. Where are you from? I am from the UK, my friend. It's easier on Edge. I haven't tried it in Chrome, but the same applies. I'm sure. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's easy enough to do. I could boot up Edge and do it, like I say. But I've got Windows 10 installed on this computer, on this VM anyway. So as long as I can change the domain that it's connected to, which I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. Nope, that's not it. That is actually not something I want to mess with. That wasn't even the right bloody virtual machine. Right, so the server looks like it's almost installed. Hopefully soon it will be done and we can go through it and we can hack some stuff. Can you guys hear my fan? In fact, how does the microphone sound? I've done some filtering on it, so you shouldn't pick up everything that's happening. But obviously I can't hear myself, otherwise I'd be forever sort of second guessing what I'm saying. God. Did I download the wrong? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Oh, I did. Oh, fuck's sake. I thought I downloaded the right one. Hold up. Or did I just install it wrong? Because there's one that you can install that doesn't have the UI, and there's one that you can install that does have the UI. ISO, continue. Ugh. Now see, this is the right one. Did I install it wrong? Yeah, I couldn't have done. Right, I couldn't have done. So domain controller. Okay. Let's see if we can reinstall this. And set up. Move my file. Fudge. Right, file, new virtual machine. That is definitely the ISO that I wanted. Because that's the one I previously used. That'll be why. Username Mantis, whatever. I guess I installed the wrong one. So you have to install the standard edition, not the data center edition, because the data center edition doesn't have the UI. Which makes sense. If you're in a data center, you don't always have a you don't always have a screen. Move this up to here, and we can delete this one. Right. Sorry about that. I'm hoping this one now works. How loud is the music for you guys? I know it's a lot louder. Oh, wait. I think you have to install the desktop. That's the one, standard edition. It's the non-core version of the Mantis. Which one did I install? Which one did I just use then? Did I use the non-core? Did I use the... Oh, wait. I just realized chat wasn't moving in my phone. Why was chat not moving in my phone? The ISO should be multi-use, but the one you need is desktop edition. I think you have to select desktop environment on the install. That's the one standard. It's the non-core, standard non-core. Okay. Did anybody see what I was just doing? Do you know what? Let's just power this up. Let's just... Oh, I don't want to install it if it's the wrong one. Right, let's kill this one as well. You'd have thought that I'd know what I was doing. Or maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't. All right, typical. Let's try again. That one. You want the non-core. Right. So it was that one. The password is password, but don't tell anyone. Well, now everyone knows because you just got popped up on my screen. Standard non-core. Right, that's what I'm installing this time. Let's get it done. I remember having issues with this last time I set up my lab. I don't know the commands to do it sort of through the command line. But whilst we wait, enjoy the tunes. In fact, whilst we wait, let's... This is going to be fun. If that works, I'll be happy. It seems to be. Nobody cares. Right. Hopefully this will work. The Kali machine apparently is already loaded. Just 2 seconds, everyone. I'm just going to go into intermission in and be right back for 2 seconds. Yeah, it seems that I need to also install a Kali box because this one's dead. It won't let me take ownership of it. Oh man, go away. Nobody cares. What was the password for this? Let's power that off for a minute. We can figure that out in a minute. Why? Why does everything seem to fail when you're on live stream? Let's delete that. Start next. What was I doing? Not that. Not that. Setup is starting. Awesome. Emulate iOS. Change to burp. Download. Download Windows 10 ISO. You normally go through the GUI. It gives you the option to export the command line of the install. Then it goes through. All right, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that either. You're lying to me. What is this? This is Microsoft.com. Did it change my user agent? It did. What about if we do it on Android? Doesn't seem to work. Well, I did have the... How did I get it? Because I did have the Windows 10 one. I mean, obviously, I've got it here somewhere. Win 10. Oh, I do have it. Where's that? That's in doc. Why is it in documents? Change that. Documents, apparently. There you go. Why is it there? Also, I knew I had it somewhere. Right. Sure, that'll be fine. Play down to streaming, Active Directory Labs, new folder, Win 10 V1. Sure, create the disk. Right, now we're on the right track. Let's sort it out. I thought it would be fun to do this on stream, like set up the Active Directory lab on stream, live. But I don't know. Maybe I should have created like a little video that I could just played. Like once everything was set up, well, not set up, but whilst everything was being set up. Right, start. Yeah. Right, we can kill. Yeah, I can just kill this link. Remove. Okay. I can go back down there because I might have notes on that one. All right, press any key. Let's press keys and hope it works. Oh, something's got to be happening. Windows 10 seems to be setting up somewhat. Server seems to be dead. I'll give it another 5 minutes. So hopefully something will happen. So basically what we're going to do, if we can get it all set up and it actually works, is set up the domain controller to be, and obviously a domain controller, it will be a file server, and we will add some users to it. One of those users will be a domain admin, and one user will be a domain user, but a local admin on their box. So their local machine. And then we will try and we'll set up a service account as well, so we can show some ASREP roast. Yeah. Right, well, that's setting up. Windows Server just seems to be rebooting, I think. You may hear banging in the background, that'd be my kids. No, I didn't know that though, Ricky. That's pretty cool. I think it's just faster to, well, of course it's faster to do it through the export than... Can you import them afterwards? Right, you cannot find the software license terms, make sure the installation sources are valid and then restart it. Right. So let's power this off. Too many times I've done this now. Streaming. What was it called? Active Directory Labs. Delete all them. And where was that one? That's fine. I can delete that in a minute. Move. Right. Let's just do it the way that I was going to do it. I don't know why I kept doing it wrong. So file, new virtual machine. What? File, new virtual machine. Typical. Now we'll install it later. Yeah. Change that to be in streaming, Active Directory Labs. A new folder called domain controller. Create that to be called domain controller. There you go. That's fine. Let's give it a bit more RAM and things as well. 4 and 4. Close and finish. I think my entire PC is just dying now. Documents, virtual machines. Those 3 can get killed. This one go up here, edit virtual machine settings. Why did I call it that? When server 2K16. How would you copy and paste it though? I mean, obviously you can do it on a virtual machine, but if you were doing it on sort of bare metal, you wouldn't be able to. I mean, I suppose if you're doing it on TID, you'd have to do it through the UI, I guess. Right. Boot from CD. Come on, this is the last time I'm doing it, otherwise I'm calling it quits. I've set up 2 labs recently. One here, one at work, and now this one. I swear it's just because it hates me. Whatever. Apparently I have too many VMware windows open. Right, we live in the UK, and we go next, and we go install. I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned here. Must be an easy way to do it. Yeah, no, you're right. There probably is. Right, so it's standard evaluation desktop experience. Which window is this? This is a server. Yes. So it's the desktop experience. This is just command line. Recommended reduces management list. And sort of. It does not include the GUI. Okay, so this, yeah, it's got to be this one. Which would make sense considering it's the desktop experience, but custom, new, apply. Okay, just create the new petition. Now, it looks like it's going to work. Windows 10 looks like it's loading, and the domain control, well, the server looks like it's also installing, it's not loading. So that should take like 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is go make a cup of tea. I will be back in 5 minutes, and hopefully all of this will be done, and we can just move on with the actual lab that I wanted to do. So I'm going to put it into be right back or whatever, and I'll be back in like 5. Well, I'll be back as soon as my thing's ready, my tea. So yeah, come back in like 5 minutes, go grab a drink, go for a piss or whatever. Right, I'm back. Live screen. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful sign. Right. Administrator, right. So let's create a notepad of this. So on the domain controller, we've got username is administrator. Local username is administrator. Password is password, assuming that it lets us have password. Okay, it doesn't. So how about we do password 123 with an exclamation mark. So the password is password 123. Control Alt Delete. If we just press this little key here, that'll send it for us. Then we can log in as password 123. And it's got a GUI. It's got a GUI. Happy days. Happy days. All of that because I did some stupid setting to begin with. Right, well, sorry about the delay, everyone, but we're back up and running, hopefully a bit better. No worries, mate. Enjoy whatever you're doing. Right, so let's full screen this. And let's install the tools so we don't have to look at this tiny little window here. Because nobody wants to do that. So let's just install the tools, the VMware tools. Right, so once VMware tools is installed, we'll go through, we'll set up the domain services. I think we have to reboot a few times. But once that's set up, we'll then add some users, and then we'll add a SMB service and a certificate authority. And then we'll join the other computer to the domain, and then we'll jump on a Kali box, which is here, which it is working. I've just got too many VMware things open, and it doesn't know what it's doing. No, it's just typical, it's fine. And then we'll do some relay attacks. We'll do some hacking. We'll do some poisoning. We'll break all the things, and we'll try and get to domain admin. Hey, Haze Phantom. Thanks, bro, for your work. Will you post this live on YouTube? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't see why not. I might cut out the massive bit that I had in the middle where I was just failing at everything, you know, just so I don't embarrass myself. I'll just do that live instead. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, I'll probably upload it to YouTube. But thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you being here. Right, so let's configure this local server. VMware tools updated, awesome. In fact, I don't need to do that. I need to go into, if we go into manage up here, I know you can't, I know I can't like make it sort of bigger, I guess. I can't zoom in, is what I'm saying. Right, if we just skip through a lot of this is all fine. We want to do, actually, we'll do that in a minute. We want to be domain services. And that'll do for a minute, and then we'll go and figure other things out. Restart the destination server if needed. Yeah. Now we'll click install. You have a Windows Server VPS. I know I don't need it, thanks, mate. This is just sort of a lab, just was setting some stuff up. But a Windows Server VPS sounds quite fun. I can close this wizard. Thank you. Oh, once it is still installing. I'm blind. What do you do with a Windows Server VPS? That sounds like a nightmare, to be honest. I mean, it sounds fun, but I couldn't imagine using a VPS as with Windows on it. Maybe it's just due to lack of experience, I guess. Downloading course and uploading it to Telegram. Fair enough. See the export option. Oh, export configuration setting. It's an XML file. Okay, let's just have a look. Where's that? My files. Hold up, let's have a look at this then. It's here. So, in fact, if I open it in IE, it should give me some source code thingy highlighting. I don't care. Go away. All of you go away. No. Just stop it. Stop it. Let me view this file. Right. I guess there's an import function because this isn't just commands. That's pretty cool though. I might try and I might try and do something with that later. Not today, but like maybe another stream or just in my own time. I don't know. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I wonder if you get like XXE on it or something. XXE on the root domain server. Oh, yeah, cool. Let's restart the VM then. How much of a delay is there? It seems to be, on my phone, there seems to be quite a delay between what I'm doing and actually what you're seeing. All right, we're back up here. So the password was password 123 exclamation mark. Then when the Windows Server Manager comes back up, we can promote this to domain admin, domain controller, I think. I'm just going to load up my notes. Let me just go. Oh, that's my VPN. That's Streamlabs. 2 seconds, just while I check this. I just don't want to show off any sensitive information. It's syncing, so. Streaming. Okay, so I can go back onto live now. Cool, so this is the sort of steps that we need to do. We've got AD services, file services. So we can... okay, let's promote this to... no, we don't want to do that yet, do we? Let's install a couple of other things quickly. Yeah, that's fine. We want certificate services. Whatever it needs, that's fine. Certificate authority, yeah. Install. No, I don't mean like that, mate. I mean, from what I'm doing on my screen to what I'm seeing on my phone, there seems to be a bit of a delay. I don't know how much of a delay that is. But then maybe my phone's behind schedule sort of thing. I wouldn't be surprised because my phone's crap. Actually, my phone's really good, but it doesn't seem to be particularly good at doing this. Like keeping an eye on this. Also, I don't know if I'm getting notifications. Let me just have a look. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go through the notifications in a little bit because I'm getting no notifications. There's probably... Oh, I know why. In fact, I don't want Chatbox up because it's just annoying for everyone. Events list. I don't know. I will get to everyone's follows and things shortly. I should have done that instead of making a cup of tea, but hey, it is what it is. Right, and now we can promote this to... Okay, let's do this first. Actually, no, let's not do that first. Let's promote it to domain controller. Oh, why is it gone really small? Hold up. There's something gone wrong here? Hold up. Why is it really small on my phone? Is it really small for everyone else? Hey, Harwood Benton. Welcome in, man. How's your day going? Okay, that's gone big again. What the hell was that about? It just went really small. Okay, oh, weird. Okay. I'll say it was like really tiny. Cool. Right, let's promote this to domain controller. So we want to add a new forest. Right, nobody came up with a name for the domain, so I'm going to need somebody to say, shout something out in chat that we can call this domain. Something that has a theme, like, I don't know, something. Otherwise, I'm just going to call it Evil Corp, and that's going to be boring. Maybe we could do Good Corp. Yeah, I suppose it could be. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's only a lab, but it is. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun to have somebody name it. I was thinking something like, I don't know how to. I'm just gonna. Do you know what? Courage to Cowardly Dog characters. That's pretty. That's quite a cool idea. I like that. What was? Hold up. I mean, Courage to the Cowardly Dog. What was their? Eustace. Eustace. I don't know how you pronounce the surname. Badge. So let's. I mean, I guess this has got to be Courage, isn't it? So courage.local. Mate, that's the first time I've heard about Courage the Cowardly Dog in about 20 years. That's just any password. Net BIOS name. Yeah, I don't really care about the net BIOS name. Let's see what it is. I'm a fast typer, man. I mean, I think, thank you. I don't know if you're calling me a sad fuck for being able to type that fast or... Nah, I mean, I spend all my time on the computer, so it's not surprising that I type fast. I don't have much of a life outside of my computer. Oh man, I love tea. Showing your age. Yeah, man, don't worry. I know the feeling there. It was great though. I used to love Courage the Cowardly Dog. That and Cow and Chicken, mate. That was also a good one. Oh, what have I done here now? Prerequisite certificate. Verification of prerequisites for domain controller promotion failed. Certificate server is installed. Did I need to promote it before I did the certificate server? Is it saying that I needed to do this first? No. I think it's because it's installed. Okay. Oh, wait. Let's remove roles and features. Next. Next. Certificate stuff. Remove features. Next. Remove. So we'll do this after. I think I have to promote it to the domain controller and then install the certificate features. I think that's what it was saying. A restart is pending. We must restart. Can I restart after I promote, though? Fine. Let me just restart. Restart, and then do it again. Fuck it, now, man. This is why YouTube videos are easier. I can cut all of this crap out. You should see how many times I've re-recorded my latest SQL injection video. In fact, I keep deleting it. Cat dog, yeah. I never really got into Ren and Stimpy. I don't know whether it just wasn't really on when I was younger. Or, I don't know, maybe I just didn't see it. But yeah, it wasn't really something I ever really saw. And I know, obviously, what it is, but... Right, manage. No, not manage, flag. Promote this to domain controller. Add a new forest, and then we call it... God damn, it takes forever. Yeah, cow and chicken used to be one of my favorite though, because it was it was so obscene how the parents or whatever they were just legs. They were just legs. That was it. What are we calling this? Courage. Courage.local. Yep. What is your YouTube channel name, please? Yeah, I think it's just Mantis STS. Now I keep saying that I'll remove the STS from it because I no longer do anything with Smash the Stack, but Mantis STS. Yep, this one here. Let me send it. There you go. It's in the chat. So we can just add any password here. That's fine. Just add my normal crappy little password to it. And next. Relaxed Ricky. Piece of cake, mate. Stop posting links. You got fucking told. I don't know why Nightbot's such an ass. Especially when like I only get like a maximum 20 viewers in the channel at a time. 30 I think was the most. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I think I can configure Nightbot. I just haven't got around to it. It's funny anyway because I can see what you post regardless. Now, I think it's just a case of going next, and then next, and then next. And this should just be like, yeah, no worries. You can install this as you can promote this as domain controller now. Cool. I don't care about any of that. Cool. Right. So now we have got a domain. Well, after it installs, we have got a domain controller. We just need to install a couple more services on it, and then we will connect the. In fact, whilst that's doing that, where's my other one here? So, and my password was password, I think. So where's my notepad? Win 10 box. Local username is Mantis. Password is password. Do I need... I don't need to install the VMware tools on this, I don't think. So what we can do on here is connect it to a domain. Well, we can in a minute once we actually have a domain. You also need to make sure they're both on the same subnet, or at least on the same network. That's still going. Ah, was your YouTube link. So that's still going. On here, local Active Directory domain. This isn't going to work because I don't think they're on the same. No, plus it's not a domain controller yet. CMD. You're about to be signed out. Oh, fun. Close. Right, now it's restarting. Awesome. So when it loads back up, it will be a domain controller. After like an hour's worth of messing around with it, for what should have been like a 10-minute job, it's then going to be a domain controller. Once it's domain controller, we'll make sure the two VMs are in the same domain. And in fact, we'll also make sure this Kali box is in the same, I say same domain, sorry, I meant same network. So then make sure they can ping each other and things. And then I think as long as that all happens fairly smoothly, it shouldn't be a problem to do some relay attacks and some poisoning attacks and other things that we were saying. So what does your lab look like, Ricky? I've seen Ross's lab and it's pretty intense. He's got some fun stuff in his lab. In fact, has anybody else in the chat got a lab? Hopefully this shouldn't take too long. Whilst we're waiting, I'm going to close this Kali box down, power off. And then we can move the Kali box up to here. And we can make sure it's in NAT and make sure it's in the same NATed network. I don't know if I think as long as it's in NAT, it should be able to be used. It should be able to see the other NATed networks. If not, I'll have to create its own NATed network and things like that. That's over here. That's that one. PF sent to the firewall Win 2022 for domain control DHCP DNS. Win 8 and Win 10 will soon have Windows 11 workstations, and Kalibox attack box was also trying to have a second server for WSUS, but it keeps falling over. Have you set up your Windows 11 box yet? Or have you tried virtualizing Windows 11 yet? Right, so now you can actually see that we are on this domain. So we've got courage/administrator, which means that it's a domain account rather than just a local account. Right, I need to just open up CMD quickly and run ipconfig. And this is on the 192.168.159.162. Okay, that's cool. Where's this one? So that can't find it. CMD. ipconfig. I doubt it's on the same 159.161. Oh, cool. Okay, so ping 192.168.159.162. Awesome, it can ping it. Close that, start again. Now, I remember I had issues with this last time. So courage.local, couldn't find it. Why can't it find it? That was the question that I had last time. it should be able to see everything. Yeah, so the reason I asked that was I tried installing a Windows 11 box on this and it just didn't work. I don't know whether... I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Yeah, it was a bit of a pain. It didn't like being virtualized. There was some sort of issue with it. I'm sure if you looked on like Google or YouTube or something, you'd find stuff. But so now we're installing the certificate services. It's fine. Restart if needed. Yeah. All of this work just set up domain controller. Set your DNS. Thanks, mate. That was exactly it. I remember doing that last time. So yes, obviously you need to set your DNS to be the IP of the other server of the domain controller. Window change. I pressed the wrong button. Change adapter settings. That's what I wanted. I just got rid of it. Okay, so the DNS settings is 192.168.156. 159. I knew that. 159.1. 159.16. 162. 162. 162. Awesome. So now if I go back to domain, and I try and rejoin it to the domain, I think that should work. When you're trying to join Courage Up locally, it doesn't know where it is. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah, like Ricky just said, when I'm trying to join the domain to the computer to the domain, if it can't look up the domain name, then it doesn't know where it is. So you have to set the domain. You have to set the DNS IP to the domain controller. Domain name, courage.local. And I haven't set up accounts yet, but it's nice to know that it's working. So we can close that. Yeah. Create a new key. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to click next on everything. I think that should be fine. Configure. Close. Awesome. And the last thing we need to do, I think it's the last thing we need to do. I don't need a DHCP server. That's fine. Not for this anyway. But I want file services. File. Active Directory. Where's file services? It's already on there. I was being silly. Okay, cool. So we can set up this. We want a new task. In fact, we need to set a local folder up somewhere so we can set that as an SMB share. In here, we're going to do a new folder of what are we going to call it? Try hack me. Because why not? Shares. Curious why you're installing certificate services. I don't remember. I remember I had issues without doing it last time, but that is a good question. I should probably know the answer to that, but I don't. So SMB share quick. Custom path. Try hack me. Select folder. Next. Share name. Try hack me. Nope, that's fine. So we are going to be a user. It's going to be a user on it. That's fine for now. If I need to change, I can change it. Right, so we actually need to... We need to set up some users. Also, welcome back, by the way. Right, let's add some users. Let's create a... no, actually, let's just go in here and create a new user. Right, users for courage. Go on then, give us some users for courage. Courage, the coward, your dog. So we're going to have Eustace. Eustace. Eustace, like that. And the user logon name should be Beige, whatever. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce his name. And I feel like he's going to be an administrator. I think he needs... yeah, he can be an administrator. Right, a password. I want a password that's fairly guessable. No, don't want to change it. And we can just set those two just for the lab. So let's add to a group. And do we want Eustace to be a domain admin? Yeah, thanks, Ricky, mate. I think... list of characters. So we have courage. I mean, Eustace is going to be... okay, I think Eustace is going to be a domain admin. So domain admin. Domain admins. Cool. I'm going to create a new user. What was she called? Muriel? Where's it gone? Muriel. Muriel. And that's beige, whatever. And she is just going to be a user, but her password can be... I'm just going to set her password to be the same, because we're going to attack her differently anyway. Oops. I'll take that, take that. So she's just a domain user, and we need one more. I want this one to be the Shirley the medium. So Shirley, how do you spell it? Shirley with an E? Yeah. Shirley. Uh-huh. Yeah, Shirley like that. Secret password. Secret password. I should be noting these down, shouldn't I? So Shirley's password is secret password. Eustace is password 123. And that was the same for... what was she called? Margaret? Muriel. Muriel. There's also... oh, I should have just typed out. Password 123. Ah, nope. Why? Password 123 the same. 123. Right, and this is going to be... in fact, no, we'll do that to Muriel. So if we go into our properties, we can add the password in here. We can do something like temporary password is password 123. Because apparently some some administrators think that you can't see the description. In fact, I had something very similar to this in a recent test. I think it was thanks to Ryan, as I was saying earlier. So temporary password is that. And we want Shirley to be a domain admin. Yeah, we want Shirley to be a domain admin. So although Eustace is already a domain admin, maybe I'll take Eustace's domain admin away. I know this is getting complicated now. As a group. Oh. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We'll change this to be... what's his login? E-bag. Right. Okay, that's fine. Shirley is a user and Eustace is... We're going to say Eustace is actually a service level account. And yeah, you can be a service level account. So what we want to do is we want to create an SPN. And where's this thing? Right. I've got the notes on how to do it here. Set SPN. So I don't know the syntax off the top of my head. So it's set SPN -A. And it's courage.local/ I think it's the username. Oh wait, what's this server called? Oh, that's a really good server name. Courage.local notes local 6011. What was this? This was the win GOPR89 RACPH. Is that all of it? Domain name / username. Domain name is courage.local/ that. Cool. Right. Set SPN -Q *****. Yeah, cool. Right. So we have a thingy user. We have a SPN user. We have a domain admin. We set this Windows 10 box up. So who's going to be in here? So we've got... Actually, that wasn't right. What was that? It doesn't really matter which one of these goes in here, does it? So this is going to be courage.local / Muriel... no, bag like that. And it's password 123. Awesome. Standard user. We can make her a administrator on yeah, so we're gonna make her a local administrator on her box. Right, we're nearly there. Because now in my Kali box, is it on? It is on. I think my password is Kali and Kali. Because again, super secret passwords. Right. And if I ping 192.168, what? No. Yeah, 159.161, 162. Cool. So we know that the Kali box can see the domain controller. We know the Windows 10 box can see the domain controller and it's joined to the domain controller. And we have a Kali box in the middle which I'm going to set. Now, should I give the Kali? Should we? I think there's two things we can do. So if you're doing this from a pen testing point of view, generally you'll be given creds for the box. A set of creds, as if you were an internal employee or something. So let's go in here and just create one more user. We'll call this Kali. We're just going to call it Kali. I'm going to call this Kali. The password is going to be the same as all the others, because it really doesn't matter. Now, we might not actually need to use this. And if we go into here and we put in the description, this account is for the pen test. Right. So I think we're good to go. Go away. That's password 123. Right, Ricky and Ryan, can you see anything missing from this before I start embarrassing myself more? I'm pretty sure we've got everything we need. I'm just going to create some notes on the IP is 192.168.159.162. And that is 161. Oh. The Kali box is... I don't actually know what the Kali box is. Kali box. If config 149. Cool. Is 149. Just in case we need them. Right. So the first thing I'm going to show you, and I'm hoping this is going to work. I really hope this is going to work now. Is Responder, which is the LLMNR poisoning attack. So what will happen is, again, our users will request a share that may not be there or may be there. It doesn't, but it'll request a share, and it will. The responder will poison the request, or the response, more to the point, I guess, and it will pretend that the share is pointing, or the IP of the share is our address, and then we will grab the hashes as it tries to authenticate with the share. Not off the top of my head, but I am half watching, half something the kids out, so I can't make any. No, that's fine, man. Honestly, it's cool. If something screws up, it screws up, doesn't it? That's the joy of live streams. So responder -I ETH0. I don't need. I mean, we can try and force it to LM, but I doubt it will. We want. No, it's fine. LM and verbose. Oh, no, I'm not root to my by default anymore. Right, so this is responder running. You can see that we're listening on this IP, this network here. And if we scroll up a little bit, you can see what servers it's poisoning, or services it's poisoning. So by default, we're doing LLMNR, NBT, MDNS, DNS, and THCP, which is off. The only two things that we're not poisoning at the moment are WPAD and auth, but the rest of them should be poisoned. So let's give this a go. So just be a normal user. We're going into our user machine, and we want to go, hey, let's go and request this share that I know is somewhere. So let's go share or file server / blah. So we wanted to request a file server share, but you can see that actually what we've got is it poisoned the LLMNR, and it sort of, we captured it. So yeah, we've got the again, I should have chosen a different bloody character. We got Muriel's hash here. So it's an NTLM hash, which means we can't forward it, but we can crack it. So I mean, we don't need to crack it, but we could use Hashcat, and to be honest, Hashcat probably will pick it up. So if we grab this, right, and we'll just cancel this now. So Hashcat in fact, echo that into hash.text. But if we hash cat and we know it's, I think it's 5600 off the top of my head is the number. And we want to do hash, and the word set is user share word lists rock you. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh no. Now again, this, in fact, let's just optimize it a little bit. So dash O dash W3, if I remember rightly. So it is optimizing it a little bit, but it is only running on the CPU, and that is running on the virtualized CPU, so it's going to take a little while to do. But with any luck, it should crack it. Hey, Spencer, man, how you doing? Welcome in. Long time no see. How's your day been? I'm sure most of this looks fairly familiar to you, mate. I guess I could do this on my Windows box, but it doesn't really matter. So that was LLM&R poisoning anyway. In a nutshell, you run responder, you wait until somebody requests a share or something like that, and then you will poison the response, and you'll get there, or you'll send them your IP as sort of the host they want to connect to, and then you'll say, actually, hey, we're that host, authenticate with us. And then they'll send you the hash, and you'll grab the hash, then you'll crack it, and you'll not enough. Okay, it's all good because I can just do it this way. Let's go to desktop and just do stream hash.text. I don't actually know if this password is going to be in here, but so if we do hashcat.exe 5600 OW3, same as we had before. I'm just sort of demonstrating. So I'm just reading chat as well at the same time. Spence said, Spence said cracked a load of hashes on last week's engagement. Yeah, I just want to demonstrate sort of basics of Active Directory attacks. So we're currently doing responder. It took me forever to set up the lab. But yeah, it's just, it's a bit of fun, and I think a lot of people in the bug bounty space as well don't understand or don't necessarily know about hacking Active Directory, not unless they work in pen testing. Was this stream hash, wasn't it? I think it's F. Do I have rock queue? Do I have word lists? F word lists. What's in F? Nothing. It's the wrong drive. Word lists. One of these has a word list in it. I mean, I can chuck it through this list. It should be fairly quick anyway. I mean, how fast is that going to be? 3 minutes. Okay, so it shouldn't be too long. Yeah, so that's the crack station list. It's like 15 gig or something. Yeah, I know. I know how to crack it. Like I know I could forcefully echo it in, but I don't want people to do that because obviously that's not the right way of doing it. But I mean, yeah, ultimately that might be what I have to do. I mean, the password is a simple password. It's password 123 with an exclamation mark. It really shouldn't be that hard. But yeah, what U003D said was we could just do echo. Oh, and we could do echo password 123. Ah, my keyboard, man. Right. And then we do echo. Sorry about that. Password 123. Oh, it can't even run it on the VM. I don't even know if I can do that in Windows. I mean, it should be cracked pretty quickly. Within 2 minutes, it should be there. assuming that it's in that word list. If not, we can assume that it was because we know the password. Do you have a copy of the Rocktastic word list? No, I do not, mate. Not on Windows. Maybe somewhere on my Kali boxes. So where did I get to? So I need to crack. I don't need to crack this hash actually. I've got impact on here as well. We can do get. I know I need to crack it for that. But get MP users. So this is a way of ASREP posting. And the format of this always screws me up. So positional arguments is the domain. So domain is courage.local/ and we've got a list of users, haven't we? Yeah. I need to crack a user. So the first thing that you do on a pen test typically is yeah, mate, send me a link or something, send it over somehow, and I'm happy to take it. Yeah, on a pen test, typically the first thing you do is run responder, grab a hash, crack it, and see what you can do with it. Obviously, the only username I have now is that one user, but there's 4 users in total. So you can do in-packet get user SPNs, and we have so target domain is courage.local. The courage.local / we've got Kali, and our password is our password was something. What did I set it to? Is it just the same thing again? Oh, buy followers, primes, and viewers on yourfollowers.com. Oh man, I'm so excited. I know the thing. This always screws me up. So get user SPNs. Example. The format of this always screws me up, and I know it shouldn't, but it does. In packet, get user SPNs. I was get user NPUs anyway. That's what I wanted. But let's do get user SPNs. Where is there you go. Right, so in packet, get user SPNs. Get away everything. In packet, get user SPNs. And the format is domain name is courage.local. The user that we have is Kali, and the password is. Can I put all that in quotes? Password 123. I think that's the password. In fact, did I note it down? I didn't note it down. Oh, I'm sure it's that. Crazy ass scoop. Anyway, what was it with that? And we want the request. We want the format to be hashcat. Is that everything we need? Yeah, output file. And output file is hash. Moving on the wrong one. So I don't need a format. format. And the output file is curb.txt. That'll do. So we should get this because we set an SPN for the Eustace user, was it? I think we set Eustace as the Kerberos user. Why can we not see this? Oh. Target domain. We need to set the DC IP address. DC IP is 192.168.159.162. There we go. Right, so that again took me far too long. So we have got a Kerberosable user called Badgy. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. Anyway, and you can see that he is actually a member of domain admins, and he is also part of users and things like that. So we should have a curb.txt file that has the hash in there. And again, I probably can crack it. But hey, it cracked. Right, awesome. So had we not had any, like, even if we didn't have the Kali temporary user, we could have run responder. We grabbed Eustace, no, not Eustace, Maurice's? What was she called? Muriel. I keep forgetting her name. We grabbed Muriel's hash, we cracked it, and now we've got a password here. And we, instead of using our Kali username and password here, which, you know, we might not have got. So what we can do instead is use no, it was Maurice, wasn't it? So we use her password. So we started with nothing. We were just an intruder on the network. We ran responder. Somebody requested a share. We poisoned it. We got the hash back. And then we cracked the hash. And now we can start escalating our privileges. So we've gone from absolutely nothing to a user. And now we've got a user who is member of the domain admins group, which is basically what we want to get to. From there, we can crack this hash. I'm not going to. Again, I've written all the passwords down. I know what they are. Eustace was, same as everyone else's password. But he is now a domain admin. But let's just say that we don't crack the password yet and just assume that we want to try something else. So we can run something called crackmap. How do you do it on this? Crackmap exec? Okay. We can run a tool called crackmap exec, and we can try and pass the password around, pass the user accounts around, and see if we can log into any other services. So we know that we've got, I mean, there's only three hosts on this network, but for argument's sake, we could do crackmap exec to pass everything around. SMB is our protocol that we want to use. It doesn't have to be, we can use other ones, but for argument's sake, we can do this. The user was badge, whatever. The password was password123. And the domain was courage.local. And we want to send it to 192.168.159.0.24. Send it to the entire network. I mean, it's quite loud on the network. I mean, if you sat there and... It was 13 gig. Oof, rough. If you sat there on the network and you were looking for this traffic, you could see that somebody was spraying. But we're not doing that. We're just, we're just demonstrating. And we want to do something like, can we run the command ipconfig? Password was login failure. So it failed to log on. Where did it fail to log on? On .1. So that would probably be my host box. But you can see that it did log on this one. Which, okay, is the domain controller. Which obviously you can log into because it's connected to the domain. Yeah, I don't know if you have already, Spencer, but if you can send me the link, mate, I'd be greatly appreciated for that list. So we didn't actually find anything there, but we can do something like shares. So using the badge user, we can see that we've got read-write access to try hack me. So if we actually take a step back for a second and assume that on our file server we have something in there. So in our file server, we might have sensitive information, we might have you know, financial documents or passwords or anything like that. And trust me, you find passwords on shares. But we're just going to call this password.text. And we're going to say password for, what was she called? What was the final user called? Shirley. Shirley is equal to secret password 123. Right? So we store that on the share as, you know, people do. People do store passwords on shares. Oh, where's my Cali gone? So on here, we do shares, and we go, hey, what's in here? So we've enumerated the shares. And actually, there's a flag in crack map exec to read all the files on the shares or download all the... Enable file content searching. Okay. So we could try content. Do we have to specify something for the content? If not, we'll just spider it. But ultimately, again, we've gone from... Oh, God. Is it spider share? What did I... spider share. Spider try hack me. Is that right? Yeah, anyway, we've gone from just a user on the network, oh, not even a user. We've gone from just an intruder on the network to domain admin. I don't know why that didn't download, but we can use SMB map. Is it SMB map? User of, what's it called? What were they called? The password was password 123. He's put that in quotes because the exclamation mark. D was courage.local. Host was 192.168.159.162. Cool. And then how do you specify the share? List all drives recursively, list directories, list contents of the directory. There's a way of down. Oh, there you go. So we want to do search for pattern. We want to look for anything like pass, something like that. And we want to download everything. Right, I think. Where's the share? How do you specify the share again? I'm sure I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, so share is just S. Oh god, not Q. Don't want that in there. And the share was try hack me. Enter. Why? Why you no work? Am I being dim here? I'm not sure why that's not working. Anyway, see what I'm doing wrong here? So we got the username, the password, the domain, we got the host, and then we're looking for pass. Although we don't, I suppose we don't need to look for pass. We can just download everything. If we need to search for something like that, and the share is try hack me. Is it capital S for share? No, lowercase. Okay. Oh. I don't know why it's not downloading. I mean, I can probably just download password.text. Unless it's to do with permissions, actually. Is it a permissions issue? It could well be a permissions issue. I don't actually know. What else can we do? SMB is an SMB. It's not SMB map. It is something else. Is it an in-packet thing? In-packet. SMB client. Yes. Courage.local. Username is mbag. Password is password123 because we cracked it. DC IP is 192.168.159.162. And the target IP is the same. 159.162. I don't actually think I need a DC IP there. And then it should, yeah. Okay, what's the commands? Does it show? No. Shares, list. Shares, it is shares. Okay. I've not been given those rights to the... Did I not give us the rights? Hold up. Actually, I need it in there. Shares, try hack me, properties, permissions. Add. Domain users. Apply. Right. I guess I forgot to do that to begin with. Is that why we can't do it? Just exit. Let's try again. Why not? Why it no work? I'm sure that should work. I don't even know why I'm downloading password.txt. No. There's probably a permissions issue. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. What am I? I am a... Why would I read and execute? That's weird. It's not weird, but... So domain users, we got domain administrators. Yeah. Wait a second. This folder and folder, yep, files. Only apply these permissions. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's right. I mean, anybody else know why this is not working? I should be able to reach try hack me with those permissions. I think. I mean, we can try this one more time. Let's go back to here. Do shares. All right, fine. That's fine. Just use share try hack me. No, okay. Processor requested to an object. No, right. Whatever. So we can do this a different way. So although I have a user, I've got m badge, whatever. We also have this. The hash was a curb. No, okay. It was a Kerberos user. So we have a Kerberos user that we know is an admin, right? We know they're a domain admin. So we went off and we cracked this password in our hashcat, which we didn't, but we'll pretend we did. And it was password 123 with an exclamation mark. So we could do the same thing with that, and then we should. Okay, there's something definitely wrong here. I mean, I'm a domain admin. I should definitely have full access to that share. Unless I'm doing something wrong. But again, I don't know what I could be doing wrong. Let me just it's got to be open because I can connect to it. Yep, not sure. But before I move on, I want to show you that tool that Ryan showed me. LDAP domain dump. Cool. Username, and we'll start off with the first username that we grabbed. So, you know, let's pretend that I didn't crack the Kerberos user yet. And we started off with with that password was password 123, and the host name is 192.168.159.162, and I need to do this. Of course. Courage.local. Backslash. Right. Okay. Okay. It all dumps into this folder that you're in. But here you can see we've got computers, we've got groups, we've got everything. So I'm just going to open up Firefox star.html, which will open up a nice new Firefox page here. So we have basically mapped out what we've got on the network here without even doing an nmap scan or you know, whatever else. You can go away. So we've got computers, we've got operating systems. I mean, of course, you don't know like what ports are open and things, but yeah. Also, did we set an admin on a local machine, didn't we? I think we set an admin on a local machine. If not, we can do that, and then I can show you that as well. Anyway, on here we've got domain groups, which they're all custom ones. They're all the default ones. There's no custom ones in there. We've got policies, domain trust. We don't have any because we're just a single domain. And then we have domain users. So instantly we can go, we've got a list of usernames here that we can try enumerating in one way or another. They're just normal accounts. Their password doesn't expire. And we can see here that we have in the description here the account for this. This is account for pentest. We've got temporary password, which is password 123. So there was two ways we could have done. We could have cracked Muriel's password. We did it the way that I would have done it personally on the first thing we did, which was with a responder. So you jump onto a network, you run responder, you grab some hashes, you crack them. That's the first thing I would have done. But alternatively, we could have used this Kali username and dumped the LDAP domain dump thing, this tool here, and we could have found the password that way. And then we can also use these usernames here to try password spraying or whatever else. So one thing I did have actually good results with was password spraying with a password that I did find in the description, which was a temporary password, which is why I'm using it this way, using it for this example. So if I minimize this, and we know the password, in fact, let's just create a new bin users.txt. So we have E badge, we have M badge, we have Shirley, and we have Callie. They're the 4 usernames that we know of. Right. So let's do crack map exec again. And we use users.txt as the text file. Sorry, users.txt, the text file. We use users.txt as the... What, in this one here? I can zoom in on this one if you want. Is that better? So we have a list of users that we're going to spray this password at. So we're going to try this password on all those accounts. And we don't need to spider. We can spider it. Why not? So we have found a domain user with the password of password 123, which is actually a domain admin, because we can see it's pwned here. So we've got and that we know that's a domain controller. So we've got domain admin on this domain controller, on the domain controller everywhere. We are now domain admin, so we can do whatever domain admins do. Yeah, I still don't know why I can't read those files. cd.cme. Yeah, weird. Either way, so yeah, we went from absolutely nothing. We went on, you know, from somebody who's just plugged in their laptop onto a network, from not having a user account to having a user account, then using that user account to find other user accounts, and then we cracked some hashes. We performed a couple of attacks. We did a pass the hash. No, we didn't. We didn't do pass the hash yet. We did do a password spraying. What else am I missing? Any other attacks you guys can think of? I know this has sort of been all over the place and not exactly the most straightforward thing to follow, I'm sure. But I'm just sort of showing you what you can do. But yeah, if you've got any other attacks that you can think of, Ricky, Spencer, Ryan, anybody? Anybody? Is that zoomed in enough? Bell Behilala? I don't know how you pronounce the name, mate. Is that zoomed in enough, or do you need it more? Let me see. Is... No, he's not. Okay. So I'm happy to carry on. Yeah, I don't really know how to perform those attacks, mate. There's something I'd have to Google before next stream. I'm happy to do it on the next stream. I just need to have a look how they're done. I know like Rubus can do it. Rubus. Don't know how you pronounce it. Rubus. Apparently, I'm not very good at reading. Local admin on a workspace station. I'm not. Local admin on a workstation. Token impersonate D8. Jump. Clear text password. What? I mean, I might be able to do that, but what I'm actually thinking is using something like Metasploit and Mimikatz to read the cache credentials and then, or just. Although I need to. Do I have Remino on here? So cached credentials are going to be on. So okay, let's load up Metasploit. Password for Cali is Cali. Don't tell anyone my passwords. I'm going to watch the stream record because I can't stay when you're just started. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So I want to get the cache credentials. I want to use that hash and do a pass the hash to show that. Yeah, and like I say, sit back and profit, yeah. So, search, we want PS exec. So there's a module in here called PS exec, and we want to use it. So options, set our hosts to be 192.168.159.0/24. Set SMB user, and what was the first one we cracked? In fact, we'll just do Cali. No, we won't. No, we'll do it as M badge, because that's the user that we cracked from responder. So we went from responder. We're going to crack the password. We're going to use it in this attack. SMB share, I don't really care. SMB pass was password 123. And I think that's everything. So in theory now, this should give us... Oh no, because we're not local admin on the box, are we? Right, so we need to make her a local admin on the Windows box. Oh, wrong one. Hey, Kerberos. Yeah, no, it's going well, mate. Well, I say well, it's going. It's going. So we started off as... So we've done the presentation. We built the lab. We had a bit of issue building the lab, but it's all good. We're there. We got it up and running. But the main issue... the main sort of attacks that we've gone through are going from absolutely no status on a network. We've just plugged our laptop in. We ran responder. We grabbed a hash. We cracked that hash. We then did some Kerberosting, and we found a service account. The service account was a domain admin, so we have already owned the domain. But also we did a LDAP domain dump and got all the users on the network, and we did a password spray with the known password that we had. There was also a password in the description of the users. And yeah, now we're doing a PS exec attack to a local admin on their box. We're going to dump the hashes, and then we're going to use the LM hashes as... Nah, man, I'm bringing you into this. You also had issues, don't... I can't take all the blame for the fuck-ups. Nah, yeah, so I'm going to dump the hashes. I don't know, I'm doing so many of these. The hashes, and I'm then going to do a pass the hash, and that's going to be the end of the night, I think. How's your week been? But I think I need to go back into here. And we need to assume... actually, computers. It's one computer. We need... It's not... Oh, managed by... Is it maybe the managed by, is it? It doesn't matter. Okay, so we do it in users. So where is Muriel? Do I do... in fact, wait. I think I'm being silly here. Where's my Windows box? This one. To be honest, there's only 3 users. There's only 3 users, 1 domain controller, 1 domain PC. And as I say, I took so long setting it up, I wanted to show as much as I could, sort of now. I mean, I don't know how long I've been streaming for. Let me have a look. 2.5 hours. So, yeah. It's going well. Hey, thanks, Ghost Dog. Appreciate it. What do I want to do on here? I wanted... Oh, no, I actually want to change this to... In fact, I don't need to change. A minute... What do I want to do? I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I was adding them as a local admin, wasn't I? Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, anytime. How do I add them as a local admin on that machine? I did this last time. And it is, I suppose it's in here somewhere. Member of... I mean, actually, in saying that, I mean, I definitely can do it as a domain admin. Not domain admin, sorry, a domain account. Why am I still running this? Go away. Can you just set a few of these? So we want 162 and 192, 168, 159, 161. The two that we want, right? Yeah, cool, okay. That's fine. I didn't expect it to actually work, but what you can do, obviously, we've cracked a password. Ah, brilliant. Thanks, Rick. I will do that in a second. But I just want to do something else quickly. What you can do... can you? Yeah, you can do PS exec with a local user, can't you? SMB user is... set SMB domain for a start. In fact, I keep jumping the gun here. Let's start with the local users. So again, we know that we've got a password, and that password seems to be reused across multiple accounts. So one thing we can do is set the SMB user to be administrator, and we can try and use the local administrator account with the password that we know across all of the servers that we know, all of the machines that we know. Which seems to work in this case. So you never know whether a local, like the local administrator users are using a known password, like a weak password, just because they might have been set up wrong, or nobody changed it after they set up. And in this case, we did get a shell by the looks of it. So sessions 1. So we got a shell on this box because the local administrator was set up wrong. The other option, obviously, like Ricky just said in the chat, is I set the domain user on here to be a local group, to be a local admin on the box. Administrators add, and that's courage.local/ this is badge like that, right? Oh, they're already an admin. Oh, so that should have worked then. Hold up. Let's background that session and let's run show options again. And let's run set SMB. It is quite possibly because the SMB domain wasn't set, so that needs to be courage.local. And the SMB pass is that, and the SMB user was badge like that. Now, if we run that, do we get the same issue? So it's actually it's unreachable. Why is it unreachable? Could be because we've already got the Meterpreter session open. Okay, let me see. I don't know if that's right. I mean, if anyone's got any ideas of whether that's right, then let me know. Let me kill the session 1. And we run that again just to see if that was the issue. I don't think it would be. If not, we'll go back to the administrator idea. It could be anything. It could be the fact that I haven't rebooted the... Oh, God, I just hit my microphone. Sorry, everyone. Seems to be dropping. Might be the fact that I haven't rebooted the machine or anything. I don't know if that matters. Anyway, show options. Let's go back to the administrator idea. Set SMB user as administrator. SMB domain to be local. And then we run it. Yeah, weird. I don't know why it didn't work with the other user. Kill jobs and try again. Can you try within packet tools? Yeah, I can do. I don't think there's any need to right now unless you want to see it. I don't know what I would... I think InPacket has PS exec as well. But yeah, I could do. And then we want to sessions list. And we want to use numbers session 2. So then we want to load the Kiwi. Load the Kiwi. Why is this? It seems like it's really... There you go. And then we can see what we've got. Are we system? Get system. We're already running a system. Yeah, I thought we were. I mean, it says running a system there, but I just wanted to check. So have we got... Done. So. We dump secrets. So we've got some... Sorry, 2 seconds. I just think I need to go check the kids quickly. I think they're up. Bear with me for 2 seconds. I'll just go back to be right back. Okay, it wasn't. It was just me hearing things. Anyway, so we got the secrets dump. We can do stuff with that, but we don't need to. So what we can do, I think, is a hash dump. Is it hash dump, hash dump? There was... It is hash dump, isn't it? And I think there's some weird things you have to do if you get this error message. I remember doing this before. So let's give it a little Google. Now I remember seeing this before, and there was like a couple of weird things you had to do first. What was it? Okay. Yeah, so we can migrate. This is what I had to do. So let's have a look. Migrate to 2892, I guess. 2892. And we can run hash dump again. There we go. Okay. So for some reason, man, these bots are relentless tonight. For some reason, I had to migrate from one process to another. But hey, look, we can still hash jump. So we can see that we've actually got the hashes of all of the users, because I guess they were all stored on the local cache. Hold up. One 162 is the main controller, isn't it? Why did I get... Yeah, it is. Why did I get domain admin on the domain controller? What? What username did I use? Oh, of course. Yeah. So coincidentally, I was confused then because I thought the user I was running was a domain user that was the admin on the local box, but obviously we changed that to administrator, local administrator. And it just so happens that the local administrator password on the domain controller is password123 ! As well. Again, when you set these things up, maybe they set them up wrong. I mean, it's unlikely in this case, but hey, we've done it. We've got all of the hashes for every user on there. And what I wanted to do, sessions to hash jump. So I wanted to actually show you that you can do, let's have a look at eBadgie because he is a domain admin. Let's zoom in here. So what we can do is use crack map exec again. Can we crack map? No, okay. Crack map exec SMB. The domain is courage.local and the user was eBadge, and the hash in this case is that hash. So this is called a pass the hash. Plain text won't be passwords won't be around on Windows 10 due to the login credential being set to 0 if I recall. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. There's two things we can do here. So obviously we have a local admin on the domain controller, so we've basically got full access to that server. However, we dumped the local cached users, which is probably a silly way of doing it on a domain controller, but hey, we did it just to prove a point that we can grab this hash and we can pass it around the network. So using crack map exec, you can also dump the SAM file, and you can also dump the LSA secrets. So let's do that. Do LSA and SAM. I think you might only be able to do one at a time. And then 192.168.159.161 and 162. Does that work? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? SAM's not allowed with LSA. All right, let's do SAM. Let's do SAM first. So there you go. If you happen to get like a hash like that, we can pass it around. So you don't even need to crack it. In this case, you could just, if you popped a local admin on a box and you can dump the hashes, then you can pass those hashes around. That's not a problem. Similarly, you can actually pass the local admin, you can pass the local accounts around, but you have to set the domain to be local. So just dot like that. And then administrator. And that should work. I said it should work and I lied. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that does work. I don't know why it's not now, unless I just unset domain maybe. No, it's not. No. It's isn't it local auth or something I need to do? Local auth. Why? Surely that should be authenticating against that as well. Am I wrong in saying you can pass the? You can definitely pass them around because I've done it. I don't know why that's not working. Local auth, user administrator, the password hash, whatever the case is. I'm not going to spend too long debugging that one. But let's do the same as what we had here. And dump the LSA. So yeah, you can dump the LSA secrets. And what else can I show you before I go to bed? I think maybe if we do... Where are we? Yeah, you can run commands and things on this, but what I want to do is, where is it? NTDS VSS. Okay, so we do NTDS VSS. Okay, get rid of that. Is that NTDS VSS? Right, so we should be able to dump the entire NTDS file, which is the sort of user database of the domain controller. This could take a while, so go grab a Red Bull. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm not grabbing a Red Bull. Cool, there you go. So, 2 NTDS users. I'm not sure why it failed. Errors processing row for Shirley. Index rate seems to be a CME issue. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically hacking Active Directory in a nutshell. I'm sure I will do another stream on this because this was a bit chaotic, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. My sort of process was all over the place. I think there's still quite a lot more to cover, especially when it comes to having more computers, more file servers, more everything that makes it infinitely more complicated. Different services that you might be able to authenticate against and things like that. So yeah, maybe I'll do that in the next stream, which should be in a couple of weeks, I think. If not, I'm sure I can do one between now and then if people really want it. But anyway, I'm calling that a night. I'm pretty sure my wife wants to go to bed as well, and I'm hogging up the bedroom. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, go and check out my YouTube as well. Do all the things that people say. But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and take it easy, everyone. If there's any comments or chat or questions or anything, let me know. I'll be around for the next sort of 5 minutes, lingering in the end screen. But yeah, we went, just sort of recap on what we did. We went from a laptop being plugged into a network, which is our Kali box, to running Responder and grabbing a hash. We cracked that hash. We then used that to do a Kerberosing attack. We then got the Kerberos ticket thing. We could have cracked that. We didn't. We chose to do something else. But we know we could have done because it was the same password and the other password was cracked. So we knew we could have cracked it. We did a pass the hash attack. We password sprayed. I mean, we actually sort of used a known password and sprayed it against lots of users. We dumped the LSA. We dumped the SAM files. We got domain admin on the boxes. So yeah, we did quite a few things. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm going to call that a night now. So take it easy, everyone. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye. just before I go, and I know everyone's probably left by this point, but thanks to everyone that followed earlier. Again, I didn't actually get any notifications. It for some reason, it wasn't turned on. But I'll read them out now. Thank you to literally everyone that follows. So that's Shiv, Can Him, Binary Rip. Oh god, there's loads here. Hayes Phantom, XLL something. Yeah. Depeche, Arwood Benton, X something. Jonathan, Spickcon, and Crazy Ass Scoop. Thank you all for following. I appreciate it.